History is full of mysteries, secrets hidden in plain sight, and stories that seem too incredible to be true. But sometimes a discovery is made that rewrites everything we thought we knew. Today, we're rediving deep into one of the most enigmatic finds of the 20th century, a lost notebook, believed to have belonged to none other than Adolf Hitler, containing sketches and plans so audacious they could have changed the course of World War II. It was 2017 when an anonymous collector brought a seemingly ordinary notebook to a Dutch auction house. Bound in simple red cloth, its pages were filled with cryptic sketches and handwritten notes in German. At first glance, it could have been anything, but as experts began to examine the contents, a shocking possibility emerged. The handwriting, the style of the drawings, and the subjects they depicted all pointed to one man. Inside this notebook were not just idle doodles, but detailed technical drawings of advanced weaponry and colossal architectural projects. Imagine this: sketches of enormous land-based battleships, monstrous tanks far larger than anything ever built, even early concepts that bear a striking resemblance to stealth aircraft. These weren't just fantasies. They were meticulously planned, with notes on armor thickness, engine power, and weapon systems. It was a glimpse into a terrifying alternate reality, a vision of a war fought with machines that belonged more in science fiction than on the battlefields of the 1940s. Let's talk about some of these wonder weapons. One of the most astounding drawings is for something called the Lankraiser 1000 Rat. This was a tank so massive it would have dwarfed any other armored vehicle. We're talking about a behemoth weighing 1,000 tons, armed with naval cannons, taken from a battleship. It would have been a moving fortress, impervious to almost any anti-tank weapon of the era. The notebook contains cross-sections and design notes, suggesting this was more than just a madman's dream. It was a serious engineering proposal. Then there are the sketches of what appears to be a long-range suborbital bomber. Decades before the space race, these drawings depict a rocket-powered plane designed to fly to the edge of the atmosphere, glide over vast distances, say across the Atlantic, and drop a payload on a target like New York City before landing on a different continent. This was the Silbervogel or Silverbird project, a concept so advanced that its principles would later influence the design of NASA's space shuttle. The notebook provides early-stage conceptual work, showing a mind obsessed with achieving global reach and delivering destruction anywhere on Earth. Beyond the weapons, the notebook reveals architectural ambitions of a staggering scale. There are drawings for Welthauptstadt Germania, the planned world capital Germania. This was Hitler's vision to rebuild Berlin into a monumental city that would stand for 1,000 years. The sketches show vast domes, triumphal arches larger than any in history, and boulevards that would make Paris look quaint. The centerpiece was the Volksschule, or People's Hall, a domed assembly hall so enormous that the Arc de Triomphe could fit inside its main entrance. The notebook contains details on its construction, the materials to be used, and the sheer overwhelming scale intended to crush the human spirit and glorify the state. So, the big question, is this notebook authentic? This is where the story gets even more interesting. Handwriting analysts from around the world have compared the script to known samples of Hitler's writing. While some see remarkable similarities, others point to subtle inconsistencies. The provenance is also murky. The notebook supposedly surfaced in Germany after the war, passing through several hands before ending up at the auction. Without a clear chain of custody, definitively proving its origin is incredibly difficult. Skeptics argue it could be an elaborate and highly skilled forgery. Creating such a document would require deep knowledge of Nazi-era military projects, many of which were top secret, as well as a talent for mimicking Hitler's unique artistic and writing style. They point out that many of these secret projects, like the Rat Tank and the Silbervogel, were known to historians through other documents. A forger could have simply compiled this known information into a convincing-looking artifact. However, those who believe in its authenticity argue that the notebook contains unique details and preliminary thoughts not found in official records. They suggest it was a personal, private journal where Hitler could freely explore his most extreme ideas, away from the formal constraints of his military and architectural staff. The raw, sometimes chaotic nature of the sketches supports this idea. It feels less like a finished blueprint and more like a brainstorming session of a mind unburdened by practicality. Think about the psychological implications, if it is real. This notebook would offer an unparalleled window into the psyche of one of history's most infamous figures. It shows a man obsessed not just with conquest, but with gigantism and insatiable desire to create things on a scale the world had never seen. Everything had to be the biggest, the most powerful, the most overwhelming. This megalomania is evident in every sketch, from the city-sized buildings to the land battleships. It reflects a worldview where might makes right, where sheer size and power are the ultimate expressions of dominance. The notebook also underscores the Nazi regime's strange fascination with blending advanced technology, an almost mythical ambition. They were pursuing atomic weapons, developing the first jet fighters and cruise missiles, and, if this notebook is to be believed, conceptualizing weapons that still feel futuristic today. It was a regime that looked to the future of warfare while being rooted in a dark pseudo-mythological ideology. This artifact, if genuine, is the perfect symbol of that bizarre and terrifying contradiction. Ultimately, the debate over the notebook's authenticity continues. For now, it remains a historical enigma. Is it the lost private journal of Adolf Hitler, containing his most secret and ambitious plans? Or is it one of the most masterful forgeries ever created? Perhaps we will never know for sure, but the contents of this small red notebook force us to confront a chilling what if. What if these weapons had been built? What if these architectural nightmares had become reality? The story of this lost notebook is a powerful reminder that history is not just a collection of settled facts. It is a living, breathing thing, full of secrets still waiting to be uncovered and mysteries that may never be solved. It challenges us to keep questioning, keep investigating, and to remember the thin line that separates the world we know from the world that might have been. What do you think? Is it the real deal or a clever fake? Let me know your theories down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into a historical mystery, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the unknown. See you next time.